Hey guys, it's T minus today. I'm Dave, and let's do another build. It is September 9th today, and I wanted to get into a build that I want to build. This is what I think I would do. It's around $1,000-ish, and this is the build that I would do if I were building today. So, we're going to go with the Ryzen 5 3600. It's a great processor for around 195 you can find it about right now. So the motherboards are kind of expensive for the 3000 series CPUs, and I decided to go with a 3000 series motherboard or an X570 motherboard because it has PCIe 4.0 and it's, you're not future proofing, but you have these things for the future. So let's just click on this here. Let's go take a look at the motherboard. Let's just jump into Newegg, see if we can find the motherboard on Newegg. Supports second and third gen processors. Supports RAM up to 4400. Crazy. So it does have a fan on it, but it should be a pretty good fan. I mean, I've had no complaints. Looks like the fan doesn't actually spin up till the VRMs get to around 55 Celsius. So, that's nice. I mean, hopefully if you have decent cooling in your case, it won't actually get that hot. There's 4 memory slots. Supports dual channel up to 128. Supports PCIe 4.0. And you're only going to want one graphics card in anything that you build right now. Nobody's supporting dual graphics cards. It's just not a thing. Sorry. I know some people really like the dual graphics cards, Crossfire, SLI. Not me. I've been a one graphics card guy for a long time, and I'm kind of glad that it died, personally. Yeah. So there is 2 M.2 keys, supports PCIe 4.0, so you could get PCIe 4.0. Actually, that might be an interesting thing to look into, but they are a little bit more expensive, and you don't get a lot more performance, real world performance, by getting a PCIe 4.0 M.2 SSD. So I didn't actually go for that, but you could swap it out if you really wanted a PCIe 4.0 SSD. Let's see, what would that entail? PCIe 4.0 SSD. So let's just look at that. What have I seen? The PCIe 4.0 SSDs. Newegg has some. Oh, yeah. The Corsair MP600. This is the prettiest looking one. This would be an interesting one to get. The 1 terabyte PCIe SSD. It's $229 though. And then you can get the 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte. The 1 terabyte version, $260 for gigabytes. And it's copper, so it has a nice heat sink on it. And it probably dissipates heat fairly well, but these are expensive. $260, $229. No. So back to the build. So the CPU is a Ryzen 5 3600, 3.6 gigahertz, 6-core, 12-thread processor. Great processor right now, and this is probably the processor that you want to get unless you're going to get something like the 3900X or like the 9700K or the 99. Even I would argue that I would rather get the Ryzen 5 3600 versus the 9700K, just because the price is just so much bang for your buck with this right here. It's so good. We're going to get some fast memory, DDR4 3600 memory for only $80. What a great price. Man, if you can get some memory right now, do so. It is pretty cheap, and I don't know how much cheaper it's going to get. I do know that they just shrunk the node or I think Samsung just shrunk their node, so we are going to get more density for a cheaper price eventually, but right now this is a great deal. And then for storage, if you can get an HP EX 920 for around $100, I would definitely go for that over this Intel 660p series. But if you can't, right now, I think it's going for about $115. and I just decided to go for the cheaper option, the M.2 1 terabyte. And you can skimp on this. You can get a 512 gig if you want, if hard drive space is not that important to you. Whatever you want here. And then I went with the 5700. This is like the only one that was in stock. It's $25 over MSRP. I would like to get this around $360, but you could get this. Also, you could shop around the used market. Maybe get like, if you could get a 1080 Ti for around this price, that'd be awesome, but I haven't seen any sort of thing like that. Yeah, so the 5700, it's competing against the 1070, and I think this is a great card. You should probably just pick this up. Good card. Yeah, we're going in AMD's camp, this build. Then for the case is user preference. I went with the NZXT H500 ATX white because it's pretty and I like it. And then for the power supply, there weren't a lot of options here. I just went with the Thermaltake Smart 600 watt ATX power supply. Now Thermaltake has been iffy in the past. I haven't had an issue with them lately. Lately as in like the last 5 years. So I had two different... I did two different builds for two different people. One, I got a Thermaltake 850 watt PSU. I don't remember the exact model, but it was something kind of like this. And then I got just a higher wattage one. And then I got a really nice Seasonic 850 watt, like $120 power supply for this other client, let's say. So I had these two people, these two builds, these two clients. They had vastly different power supplies. I honestly thought the Thermaltake would just die a lot faster than the Seasonic. Seasonic has a reputation for its reliability, especially when you get up into those higher, platinum PSUs. But turns out they both failed within about 2 months of each other, about 3 years into the build. It's kind of a crapshoot, and then we ended up buying a Corsair CX series, I think, 600 watt power supply, just to kind of tide the Thermaltake guy over. But that didn't work out too. That we had issues with that one, so we ended up getting an EVGA Supernova, and that's been working great ever since. So I don't know. User preference here. Thermaltake. It was really the cheapest thing I could find for like 600 watt. You could probably skimp it with a 500 watt power supply here if you wanted to. I just went with a healthy 600 watt power supply. Choose what you will. And then, of course, for the operating system, went with Windows 10. You could definitely go to eBay here and just search for Windows 10 key, and do the whole... hey, Windows 10 key for $5 or whatever. Generally works really well. That's what I'd recommend doing. I wouldn't buy the Windows 10 Pro key for $200. I would definitely get it cheaper elsewhere. It tends to work great. Only takes a couple hours and you can activate it. Awesome. That's the build. So this is, I've vacillated a little bit on how exactly I should go about doing this, but I really... I kind of want to do another like budget build, but honestly, if I was going to build a computer for me, these are the kind of parts that I would want in it. I'm running a GTX 970 right now, and I have a first gen Ryzen 1600X. And I think the 3600 would be a really good step up from what I'm currently running. Also, the PCIe 4.0 is nice. So if you decide to get a different SSD later on, there's two M.2 keys in there, so you could move the Intel one to the secondary slot and then get a PCIe 4 SSD when they start to get a little cheaper. That would be awesome, and this could grow with you. I used to think, try and think like way far ahead. Like right now, I could throw it. I thought this build that I have right now. I'm like, oh well, I have the B350 motherboard, and it would be awesome. I'm gonna wait till 2020, and then I'll put in the latest CPU, which I might do still. It's still a good idea, but you don't have all the bells and whistles and all the newest chipsets that are coming out with the motherboards, and it's kind of nice just to just to keep that all together, your CPU, motherboard, and memory all together in one package. I really don't mind upgrading the video card. So the video card, I mean, you could get the Ryzen 3600, whatever processor that you want. Let's go for the Ryzen 5 3600 for this build. And then later down the road, let's say in 2 or 3 years, I mean, you're really happy with the RX 5700, but you want, more performance. You could get a beefy card, and this would still perform very well with all the bells and whistles. I mean, this RAM is just going to be killer. You really don't want to go over DDR4 3600 with Ryzen currently, because the RAM is into 1T configuration. If you go over 3600, it goes into a 2T configuration, so it takes 2 cycles to do the same thing. So that's why we're sticking with this cap. Plus, after 3600, memory gets pretty expensive very quickly. And 3600 memory is wicked fast. You should be able to enable it in the XMP profile of the motherboard, and it should just work. Anyway, that's the build. And I'll link the products in the description below. They'll all be Amazon links. You can check it out and let me know what you think. I think it's a great build. I might do like a used build here in a bit. I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll go some older equipment, get some really healthy, some good power out of it. But we'll get like a used card from eBay, and we'll get like a tower that is fairly cheap, and this is like a brand new build, and you can substitute parts out for other things. You don't have to get brand new everything. If you want to get this kind of performance, you don't have to spend $1,000. But this is a great sweet spot build. And this is probably what I would build if I was going to build today. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe for more content. Like it. Hit that little bell button for when I upload new videos. I'm trying to do it every single week, and we will see you next time. See you later.